Hello, everyone. My name is Maha El Metwali. I am a conference interpreter in the Arabic booth, and I am an interpreter trainer. Today, I would like to talk to you about what factors you need to consider before offering your services in a remote setting. So, we are in the middle of the COVID-19 crisis, and as conference interpreters, we are among the groups that have been worst hit by this crisis. Our meetings are canceled, flights are suspended, and we find ourselves homebound with no income. So, at the same time, remote interpreting platforms are marketing themselves as a viable option for in-person interpreting. So it is not unreasonable to consider offering your services remotely. However, before you do that, there are 6 factors you need to consider before doing that. The first one is fatigue. Research shows that working remotely causes the interpreters to feel more fatigued. You are not only doing the interpreting tasks with all the cognitive load that comes with it, but you are also doing so many other things. You are checking the chat in order to communicate with the meeting organizers and with your booth partner. You are setting everything up yourself. You are maybe having an extra communication channel to talk with your booth partner. Some platforms require that. So there is quite a bit that you are doing. There is a lot more impulses that are coming your way than when you are working in a booth. Also, maybe it could be the electromagnetic radiation that we are exposed to when we are sitting for long hours behind the computer screen. Whatever it is, we get more fatigued as conference interpreters when we are working remotely. So this is the first factor. The second factor is the techno stress. When you work in a booth and in a regular setting, there are specialized technicians that take care of everything. So if you meet any problem, you can only get the technician and they will take care of it. But in a remote setting, you are the technician. So you need to make sure that you have speedy computer, stable internet connection, a good headset with a microphone. Maybe if you live in an area that could have power cuts, have an extra power supply and a backup of all this. And you need to do tests before starting the job and make sure that everything works fine. So if anything doesn't go according to plan, and we all know that technology can have a life of its own sometimes, then this could lead you to feel even more stressed about the situation you are in. So techno stress is definitely a factor you need to think about when doing remote interpreting. The third factor is the work conditions. When we are working in our regular setting, having a session of 3 hours and then the lunch break and then another session of 3 hours is pretty much the norm. However, this is quite exhausting if you do it in a remote setting. So the work hours need to differ if you want to do this in a sustainable way. We have no idea how long this crisis is going to last, and we need to prioritize our health. So maybe we need to consider shortening the work hours and maybe also making the team larger, the interpreting team larger. So these are things that definitely have an impact on our quality, and we do not want to have our quality suffering as a result. There is also the issue of liability. So let's say you have done everything that you could do in order to have the right conditions to offer this service, but then you have a power cut, or your internet connection breaks down, or you cannot hear the speaker. So what do you do then? These are elements that you need to discuss, and not only discuss, you need to also stipulate them in your contract before any remote interpreting job. So either you have an addendum related to remote interpreting to your regular contract, or maybe even create a separate contract for remote simultaneous interpreting that stipulates that you are not liable. You cannot be held responsible if anything happens that affects the meeting, anything that is out of your control. Think also about the following. You have prepared yourself. You have attended training, you have attended webinars, you bought the equipment, you are ready to offer this service. Then comes your first interpreting assignment in a remote setting, and you find the participants logging in from their cars on their mobile phones while driving without using headsets. So everything that you have done will not really result in the excellent communication that you're hoping for. So this means that you need to educate your client. It takes two to tango after all. And if the client is not prepared, if they do not know how to use the platforms, if they do not know the 1, 2, 3 of joining a meeting remotely and participating in a meeting remotely, then all what you have done will be in vain. So it is a good idea to advise your clients. Now that you have the knowledge about remote interpreting, you need to open the communication channels with the clients, see what they need. Maybe they are as lost as everybody else. How are they going to deal with everything stopping? How can they get their work back on track? So they could probably use sensible advice from you. So client education and advising your clients are also important elements in the setting of offering remote interpreting. And the last point I would like to talk about is your remuneration. So imagine the following. You get a phone call from a potential client who asks you if you would be willing to interpret a short meeting on your own and asks for your hourly rate. What do you say to this potential client? Well, in a regular setting, the client pays for our fees, for our per diem, for the hotels, for the travel. They may be even overtime and recording costs in some settings or in some situations. So in a remote setting, the client does not have to bear a lot of these costs. There is no travel, there is no per diem, there are no hotels. So why should the savings extend to the interpreter's fees? I would argue that working in a remote setting is something that warrants increasing your fees, because as I've just said, you have to be the technician, you are bearing a heavier cognitive load, you have to take care of everything, and it is a fatiguing setting to work in. So you should be earning more and not less. So think of all these things before you offer remote interpreting. And I know these are challenging times for all of us, but there are also opportunities, and remote interpreting could be one of these opportunities. However, we need to tackle it in the right way. And when the COVID-19 crisis is over, I do not expect remote interpreting to vanish into thin air. It will still be there. Maybe it will occupy a certain percentage of the market. We still do not know what percentage this is, but it will still be there. But we need to handle it carefully, because everything that we do now will have an impact in the future. So at the moment, we are laying the groundwork for what is yet to come. Thank you very much for listening.